Hey honeys, welcome back to my channel. Let's get into it. Today's video is gonna be a tea with me, and y'all, we got a lot to get into today, that is for sure. But before we go in, I just want to say, y'all, I tried curling my hair to look cute and presentable for y'all, right? And I went and I burned my finger. Now I need y'all to settle a debate for me. My friend and I were talking because I burned my finger, so I couldn't finish the rest of my curls because my finger, like, it's literally sizzled. Like some bacon, y'all. Some bacon. Like the pork bacon, because, you know, we plus size. Oink, oink. So I told her, I was like, oh, I need to find some Vaseline to put on the burn. And she was like, she said some random ointment. I was like, girl, don't nobody got that? I was like, Vaseline and oil works the same. She says, oil and Vaseline is gonna cook it. So I need y'all to let me know, when you guys have a burn, what is the first thing you put on it to settle down the tingling sensation? Let me know what y'all use, because I use oil, and well, if I'm in the kitchen, if I burn myself cooking something, I use oil. But if I burn myself like on a curling iron or anything like that, I just use some Vaseline and I put it on. Like, look, y'all, it's covered. So like, couldn't finish the curls, so if you don't like the curls, talk to your mama, don't talk to me. But you know, I think, you know, for what I could get done, I got it done. But y'all, let's get into the video, because we got a lot to get into today, and I'm not trying to talk too much or talk too long, but you know, I'm Rebecca, I talk a lot, so let's get into it. So one of the things I want to talk about today is Crystal Smith and Neyo. If you don't know, Crystal Smith basically made a whole post on Instagram. She had typed in her notes, screenshot it, and posted it, and commented, God bless, and basically said, 8 years of lies and deception, 8 years of unknowingly sharing my life and husband with numerous women who sell their bodies to him unprotected. And basically went on a whole tangent about how she's, you know, gained 3 beautiful kids out of the marriage, but she just can't deal with the lies and none of that anymore. So Neyo, being petty, he liked it, and then he made his own post saying, for the sake of our children, my family and I will work through our challenges behind closed doors. Personal matters are not meant to be addressed and dissected in public forums. I simply ask that you please respect me and my family's privacy at this time. First of all, Neyo, shut up, because your wife, ex-wife, current wife, well, technically she's filing for divorce, so soon to be ex-wife, she's the one who gave me the info. She put us in her business. She's the one who whispered onto my timeline and stated what she stated. So how you mad at me? You should be mad at these other ladies that you fought so hard to get your relationship back after y'all went on a whole thing on Instagram talking years ago, went on a whole thing on Instagram talking about how y'all no longer going to be together, this, that, and the third. But then apparently I think they ended up going marriage counseling, I believe, and y'all worked it out, and now this is happening. Honey, the last thing you need to worry about you know what's crazy to me, and honestly it really baffles me, is that there's times where people claim that when they're going through situations in their relationship that they want to keep it private, but the disrespect that they're doing is very public. Any of these women could have came forward and said anything they wanted to about them sleeping with you and you cheating with them on your wife. So it's like, you are doing things that at any moment could be publicized, but then you're asking for people to give you your privacy. Clearly you didn't care about privacy when you decided to step out on your wife. So let's really talk about it. Let's talk about it, for real, for real. Crystal Smith has officially filed for divorce from Neyo, and apparently in the filings, she alleges that he's having a kid with somebody else. Now, personally, if my man cheat on me, I'm leaving. But if he cheat on me and have a kid with somebody else, y'all know my phrase, check the deuces up to him. Okay, we gotta go. Hit the dough. Okay? And while you take care of that kid, I'll have my kids. Okay? The next thing I want to talk about, I don't know if you guys remember, in my last Cheat With Me, I talked about Brittany, and I hope I'm really not messing up her last name, Griner. Basically she was detained in Russia because they said that they found marijuana. They basically found marijuana oil and a vape pen on her, and basically detained her because they're saying that she brought drugs. They're making it seem like she brought like a whole thing of drugs, like she was about to sell it in Russia. But the trials were commencing and everything. That's what I talked about with you guys last time. Well, we've just found out that Brittany is sentenced to 9 years in prison. And I'm gonna stay very level-headed with this, and I'm gonna say my point and I'm gonna move past it, because you know how I can get y'all. I feel like it should have never gotten to this point, because I know we had heard talks about them apparently doing a prison exchange with a Russian prisoner that's in the United States with Brittany. I don't know what happened with that conversation, what happened with those talks, but it's just like, I understand most people, there's a lot of people who are saying that, you know, she should have never brought it there. You know, if you know how Russia is, you don't bring certain things that could get you into those predicaments. But at the same time, I just feel like the crime does not fit the punishment. Like, yes, it may have been wrong for her to bring it, but for oil and the vape pen, 9 years, what do y'all do to people who murder somebody? I just personally, I feel so bad, because I feel like she does not deserve this. Of all situations to be in, I really hate this for her. I truly do. President Biden basically released a statement requesting for the immediate release of Brittany, and after like the whole announcement of her getting 9 years. And it's like, how can we bring this girl home? Like, how? Because this is really not fair. And I feel like now that it's 9 years in prison, what they gonna do for real? And like everybody on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, everybody's like, a lot of people are saying just free her. Like, it's not that serious. And I know she's in another country and their rules and the way that they handle things like weed and stuff like that is very different. But I just feel like the crime, the magnitude of the crime does not fit the punishment. Because if I really think about it, if I just have a little vial of oil and a vape pen, who was I gonna give that to? I'd be the worst drug dealer ever if I'm just selling that little amount and flying all the way to Russia to do so. But anyway, I hope they find a way to release her. I feel bad. I hope her wife, you know, this is probably a really hard, tough time for her. So all my prayers go to her as well. Girl. Let's sip our water with a metal straw, okay? This is very contradicting. A rare solo cup, straw, and I promise y'all, it's water. Like, hold on, I'm not trying to spill nothing. I don't think y'all can even see that because it's clear. But it's water, I promise. It's also 3:48 in the afternoon. I mean, it's happy hour somewhere, okay? Actually, is happy hour because, ooh, I should go for drinks today. We'll see. We'll see. It's always something, right? If we not talking about Blueface and his girl, we talk about Chloe and Tristan. But Chloe and Tristan gave us a week off. They not doing nothing crazy this week, so.
Why the fuck you lying? Why you always lying? Oh my God.
There's a video on Instagram right now that basically shows an altercation between Blueface and Chrisean. And basically, in the video, which I'll put right up here, in the video, Blueface is seen walking away from Chrisean, and she's basically chasing after him, not even chasing after him, walking behind him, telling him basically, take me back to the car, take me back to the car, yanking on him, pulling on him, keep trying to pull him back into the direction of the car. So in doing that, she ends up breaking his chain and swinging on him, right? And then they end up on the ground, you know, rolling around for a little bit, like, and he ends up getting up and she goes right back after him. So then as she's pulling him again, he ends up swinging on her. So now they just squaring up with each other. And now there's bystanders around and everything like that, and people are trying to break up the fight, and then she's basically telling people, don't touch me. If you touch me, like, I'm gonna really have to dog you, kind of thing. And so the fight eventually is diffused, and they're eventually walked by security to their cars. And now, after that, Blueface basically goes to his Instagram story and shows a video of Chrisean laying in the bed after the fight and showing his face of like the girl, like of Chrisean punching him and like how he's about to get a black eye basically, and basically tells her, I will give you $100K to leave my house, like just leave, like I want to end this, like I don't want you. And basically starts going into details about how apparently she's been hitting up other guys and that she was about to sleep with the PO, I believe, or the CO, I'm not sure which one he said, I don't remember, but he basically said that she was basically trying to hit up other people, trying to sleep with other people, and basically that, right? So, you know, her being a lovesick puppy, she ends up stating on her social media, no money in the world can make me leave you. You might as well call the psych ward to get me out this bitch, right? And then she put the heart emoji with the hand. And it's like, personally, I never felt bad for her in the way that he treated her, because I feel like what someone has shown you and how someone has shown you they are should be an indication of how your own relationship might end up being. So let me go back to his Instagram story. He basically ended up saying, I'm making this video and I want her to leave because, you know, when someone shows you that they're one person but they're really not, that's disappointing basically. And he basically says she knows I'm a whore. Everyone knows it, but she over here tries to play like she's some down female, like she's down for me, she's this, but in reality she's trying to do all this other things. And I mean, what he said, I hate to say it, kind of makes sense because I really don't like him, especially when it comes to like his family situation, the whole situation with her beating up his mom and his sister. Yeah, he not my cup of tea, let's say that, okay? But in terms of this situation, like, I genuinely don't feel bad for her at this point. Like, you volunteer to be a part of the shenanigans at this point. Like, everything that happens to you, like every week you end up being in the bed, he telling you to get out, he's saying this, he's saying that because of your own actions. Like, if this is the person that I'm not saying what he said is correct, I don't have confirmation if she did hit anybody up or anything like that, but let's just say in this case all I have to go is from what he has said. If you are hitting other people and you taking out your tooth for this man, like, baby, what are you doing? What are you doing? If y'all didn't have this agreement from your end and his end of an open relationship, I mean, from his end, he probably did say it's an open relationship because, baby, I just know. Beautiful. I just know that man is not to you only. But if you making it seem like this is the only person you want to be with in life, and you just went through a whole shenanigan where you just tell him that you gonna take your tooth out for him, and you take out your tooth for him, wouldn't you be acting a certain way? That's just me. But honestly, if this was me, if you show me no respect in our relationship, I promise you I'm not going to show respect to you as well. So, I mean, that's just me though. I can only speak from my perspective. But then she ends up saying that this is going to be her last Instagram post, and it was like a song. It's a song she basically did with Blueface. But we're not going to get copyrighted. Woo! Okay. But the last update on this situation, the Los Angeles Police Department is going to investigate the altercation between the two. They need to leave each other. Because honestly, if a man offered me $100K to leave him alone, because I leave people for free. So you offer me $100K, how you want to do this? Venmo, Cash App, cash? I do cashier's check. How you gonna send this $100K? What? I'd be out. What? I'm over here leaving people for free and I could get at least a little $100K? Clearly I'm dating wrong. And the last thing I want to talk about, Terrell Owens. He shared footage of a recent incident that occurred between him and his neighbor. And if you know who Terrell Owens is, this is him. And I don't know what his neighbor looks like, but all I can tell you is that she's a Caucasian woman. So basically, he was apparently driving somewhere, I believe to the mailbox or something, and she apparently, the lady who basically yelled at him, who he got into the incident with, was basically saying that he almost hit her because he was speeding. He drove past the stop sign. Apparently, from his point of view, there was no stop sign. He's basically just recording himself and the whole incident that's happening. But the thing I want to talk about that irritated me the most, right? So while recording the incident, she basically ended up stating right in front of police and him while he's recording, she ended up saying, "You're a black man approaching a white woman."
Right, because you're going to yell at me and telling me I'm almost hit you, and I didn't.
But you didn't have to get out of your car.
You didn't have to talk to me that way either, Karen.
You're a black man approaching a white woman.
First of all, you had your boy right here, your husband right here. So first of all, I don't do that type of stuff.
Relax. You did. You put your car in park and you came at me.
First of all, I didn't come at you.
Yes, you did.
You can stop all of that, Karen.
Okay, listen.
Get out of here with all of that.
Listen, if you guys want me here, I can solve it.
He literally came after me.
Here she crying. There's Karen. Look at this. This is unbelievable. Swear to God, I've never been a part of nothing like this. I've seen it. No, I'm fine, sir.
And then proceeds to break out into tears. And it's like, the thing that irritates me the most, because we constantly hear things like this happening every day. There is the power of minding your business. That I'm trying not to sound very ignorant with this, but it's very tiring to see black men and black women, people of color, period, constantly being harassed. And then when being harassed, the people who are doing the harassing love to play victim. How do you play like you are the one who is being victimized when you are constantly bothering someone who literally doesn't want to speak to you? If it wasn't for you acting the way that you do, you probably wouldn't even get a hi. You probably wouldn't even get the door opened for you. I probably wouldn't hold the door open for you even if I saw that your hands was filled with groceries. How do you constantly allow yourself to be... It really irritates me, and I always say, like, God knows what he's doing because he doesn't put me in certain predicaments because he just knows the outcome. And I'm just... I love when I see the people pull their cameras out and record, because I don't think that I would have the mental maturity to say, let me get my camera. You would just have to catch me in court. You would just have to go get my bail money ready, because it's the confidence she had when she said that. The confidence, guys. When I say she was so confident in the way that she said that, you're a black man approaching a white woman. What does that have to do with anything? Who wants you? It's situations like that is why we have cases like Emmett Till. Situations like that is why we have these constant cases happening every day. It's because of people like that who feel like they have the luxury and privilege to act the way that they do and no consequences happen. This is why this happens, because they've normalized it so much for years. For years, and nothing has ever been done. Honestly, when you think about it this way, if you keep doing something and no one ever stops you, and you realize that you keep getting away from it, why in your mind would you stop? Why in your mind would you stop? If you know that nothing's ever gonna happen to you. See, I don't have that privilege. Most of my friends don't have that privilege. They don't have the opportunity to do something that causes negative outcomes consistently and nothing happened to them. Because for me, for people like me, people similar to me, we will always be looked as the aggressor, when a lot of times in a lot of situations, you are baited into those situations. And in this video, the lady's husband is trying to tell her to go inside, but instead of going inside like a normal human being and shutting your mouth and can stop talking, she decides to keep going. She decides to start crying. She decides to say, you're a black man approaching a white woman. You were doing this. And then thankfully another neighbor was like, I was sitting in my garage. You came at him for no reason. Because of your own prejudice, your own racism and your own prejudice against black people, you sat there and started yelling at this man. let's leave it right there, y'all. And the next thing I wanted to mention, because it's very similar to what we were just discussing, this will be the last thing that I talk about for today. 4 of the current and former police officers who were the cause and the reasoning for why Breonna Taylor lost her life have officially been arrested by the FBI. Y'all, I don't know if you guys remember, this was a while back when I was doing Vlogmases, and I was doing a tea with me, and I said, keep saying her name because something needs to happen for her. It really does. I mean, personally, I would prefer the life of that person to be preserved and to be here on this God-blessed earth than to be taken from her. But since they were the cause and the reasoning as to why she is not allowed to be here today, they need to be held accountable. But that is all with me today, y'all. Thank you so much for being here and having a tea with me, but technically it's a solo cup and water with a metal straw. But you get the deal. You get what I'm trying to do. You get what we talk about. That is all I have for today. Please stay tuned for next week's video, and don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Thank you so much, honeys, for being here with me today. Bye.